Steering also important. So apart from a little flirtation over with the woodwork, Brooks have had the better steering. Brema were zigzagging a wee bit, but Brooks moving now towards the tail end of this race, approaching the boating area, moving past a little house on the course here called Old Blades, just tucked away under the trees. Then they'll come into the grounds of Upper Thames, and they have a very, very good lead. Oxford Brooks over Brema from Germany.
That's the name of the crew if you want the crew names. People listening at home.
And in the Brooks crew we have Chrissy Duff, Minella McGee, Sophia Heath and Grace MacDonald. And the Brema crew we have, is that Paulina Duchting, Yannicka Moy, Levka Gill and Alina Mellis. Bilingual commentary at no extra charge. How good is that? You can see the start there. This is always a bit of a nervy moment, and they're off. This is the next race, which is Exeter University nearest to us against Nottingham University. Exeter on the left, Nottingham on the right. They're heading down through the island. Coxless fours. Steering also important here, and as I say that, right on cue, Exeter pull a massive swerve as if to avoid something. Not easy to see who's ahead here. I would probably go for Nottingham, and that could be down to Exeter having to make some sharp turns. However, Exeter still punching it out, trying to get back on terms, and what you don't want to do is let the crew get away. So at the top of the island there is an overlap. It's probably only about 3/4 length maximum in this, another heat of the senior Coxless fours, race number 34. Exeter University are on the bank side. Nottingham over towards the middle of the river. And Exeter can sense that they're still in touch here. So there is overlap. It's probably about half a length. They're coming up to where we're commentating from now. So we're probably about a quarter of the way down the course, I would think, where we're sat. So 25% of the race is done. And Nottingham have a length over Exeter as they move away from us and down towards the enclosures and the halfway point. It's Nottingham looking very, very good indeed as they move away, and they've just managed to extend that lead a little bit more now, so they're in a good position there. They can see what their opposition are going to do. Exeter will have to now respond, or Nottingham are just going to continue to move away. And Nottingham with a very lively stroke. They look as if they're really pushing this boat along. It just looks easy, and very often when it looks easy they are out in the lead and are really rowing here very, very well indeed. Coming up to the halfway mark, Nottingham with a lead over Exeter, heading through the enclosures. So this is about the halfway point, we reckon. Nottingham University with the lead over Exeter. Great pictures and a really good atmosphere down in the enclosure area. So we're looking here at Nottingham with a really good lead over Exeter, and I'm going to hand you over to Lizzie, who's going to give you some results.
Thank you, Martin.
Elizabeth.
Thank you very much, Martin. Well, let's bring you some results now from some of the single sculls races that have been taking place so far today. So earlier on in the morning, in the afternoon, we had the first lot of the senior lightweight single sculls, and just recapping on those results, the sculler from Peterborough, Plum, took a win over Katie MacDonald of Durham University. Fullman from City of Bristol progressed through, knocking out Shreves of Bedford. Perry of Thames Rowing Club knocked out Hallett of Taunton Rowing Club, and MacDonald of Edinburgh University, Lucy MacDonald as opposed to Katie from Durham University, beat Morris from Commercial Rowing Club, and those all progress through to the next round tomorrow. In the races 21 through to 24, it was Cook from Derby Rowing Club who took out Coates from Bradford ARC. A verdict of easily, a time of 6:26. It was Bethany Meakin of Norwich Rowing Club who beat Lucy Eyeball of Grosvenor Rowing Club by 3/4 of a length in a time of 6:17. I was going to say that would be very quick. Then we had Sarah Lewis of Greenback Falmouth, and she had a verdict of easily over Jackson of Worcester Rowing Club in a time of 6:37. And finally from Bristol University, Tutia Tyson knocking out Naomi Ashcroft of Upper Thames Rowing Club, a verdict of 3 lengths and a time of 6 minutes 34. So looking forward to tomorrow in that senior single scull. We already now know that we will have Meridew of Reading over Cole Hussein of Thames Rowing Club. Meridew having knocked out Lawrence of Gloucester Hartbury in a verdict of 4 lengths and a time of 6:23. Jordan Cole Hussein knocking out Andrea Stock of Poplar with 4 lengths in a time of 6 minutes 16. Then Rosalind Wilson of Durham University knocked out Stephanie Hall of Wadham College by 3 lengths in a time of 6 minutes 21. Alison Jackson of Walton Rowing Club beating Anna Louise Norgate of Tideway Scullers School, a verdict of 2.5 lengths, a time of 6 minutes 22.
Thank you very much indeed. And we got the next heat here of the senior coxless fours, Tideway Scullers School, Newcastle University. And from the overhead shot, it's Newcastle University on the left-hand side, Tideway Scullers on the Berkshire station, nearest to the bank, on the right of your screen. And this is another cracking race. Half a length at the moment to Newcastle. Good old scrap towards the top of the island. Then the crews are very much aware that they hit open water. The whole thing opens up. So you've got to watch your steering. You've got to be aware of where the other crew are. You'll have a race plan, but sometimes that goes out the window because you're really just racing here against the other crew. So it's not like multi-lane racing, it's a totally different discipline.
38.
Says he who's probably never done multi-lane racing in his life, but I'm told by people who know a lot more than me that this is a very, very different challenge, particularly as you've got these great big wooden lumps, the booms and the piles either side you. And sometimes that can just freak crews out. No matter how good they are, it is a different beast rowing on this course. And these two crews coping very, very well with it. Newcastle University with the lead at the moment. Probably just over a length and a quarter maybe. Tideway Scullers now having a push, trying to get back on terms. If you can put your opponent under pressure, their steering might just go, might just put them off their stroke. So it is all, it's a head-to-head really. Winner take all. Halfway down the course. Newcastle University looking very, very good indeed. Very composed, very strong. We've seen some really good crews in this event so far. Some cracking racing. And Newcastle just knocking this along, extending their lead. 36 strokes a minute, halfway down the course. Very good indeed. Scullers just got a little bit ragged there. The steering went off slightly. The umpire, interesting enough, warning warning the leading crew, although they look to be quite a long way ahead. Anyway, the rules are the rules. Stick to your own side of the river. That's all fair. Newcastle, 3 lengths at least now lead. Coming up to probably about the last minute of the race, and it's Newcastle who are punching away and heading for the finish line in this, the senior Coxless Fours, Tideway Scullers School, Newcastle University with a really, really good lead as we go to the next race, which is St Andrews University and Radcliffe Lightweights, Harvard from the United States of America. They are crew number 89. They are on the left-hand side as you look, and as we head up towards the top of the island, Stan is doing his best he can to block the pictures with bits of paper, but I'm pretty sure Stan is going to look up a bit of pedigree here of the crews.
These are their names, Radcliffe.
And we have in the Radcliffe lightweights boat Julia Beaumal, Julia Henry, Ruby Emberling and Tessa Buchan. Coxless Fours, as they now appear from the top of the island. You can see here that St Andrews University have a lead of about a length over the American lightweights. The American lightweights now just beginning to get in their rhythm and just eating back, so we could be in for a bit of a humdinger. Have we had one of those today, Stan? We love a humdinger.
In that singles race?
Yep. No, we had a humdinger earlier, I beg your pardon. And this is proving to be a cracking contest, this. I'm going to have Stanley come in with some words of wisdom at the moment, but we're looking forward to seeing how this one pans out. St Andrew University up against Radcliffe Lightweights, who are Harvard from the United States of America, Stanley.
And it's interesting that they're lightweights and they're not in the lightweight event. Edinburgh University at 35. Edinburgh University, of course, these days one of the GB start centres. On the far side, very close to the booms, that Hertford crew skirting with the booms, I think we call that. Very tight. Radcliffe, just about 2 foot off the booms. And it's not doing them any good in terms of their race. What is it? Is that clear water? I think they might just be clear water.
Yeah, just over a length.
Okay, so Edinburgh University just settled into 34, so they're obviously not worried about. They're obviously not very concerned about the Radcliffe Lightweights crew, although one would assume they're not come all the way from America to go out in the first round.
But that's the way it looks at the moment, Stanley, as they're coming up to the halfway point. St Andrews University with a lead now of, well, that's well over a length and a half.
And it looks like Edinburgh are just settling, and they look like a crew just well in control of their race, don't they? Beautifully relaxed there, just stretching out, picking it up beautifully, full length rowing. Obviously benefiting from being one of the GB start centres with some professional coaching up there in Edinburgh. This GB start programme, it produces some of the people who've been winning world and Olympic medals, and it looks like at the moment they're going to be far too warm. I'm sorry, it's St Andrews. I do apologise. There's me thinking it was Edinburgh.
Lovely to hear about Edinburgh, though, isn't it? we're enjoying that. But I'll tell you what threw you there, Stan. I think an Edinburgh crew went down to the start, but you did mention earlier about Edinburgh being a start centre. St Andrews, I don't think they're a start centre.
No, they're just St Andrews. There's many more universities now. The time was when it was just 3 or 4 universities that produced top-class crews, but now there's 15 or 20 universities, all of which can produce very